Hey, you'll listen to another show on the 4-Odd Radio Network. For more shows, you can go and check out 4oddradio.com. Alizé.
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this 4-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
I know what you're thinking. You heard the intro. You know the network. Your salivary glands are starting to make you drool. You know this melodious voice. You have ached for this melodious voice. You have dreamt and prayed that this melodious voice would one day return to the idiot section at the 4-Eyed Radio Network, and now your hopes, your dreams, your fantasies, and your prayers have finally come true. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and those that are in between, welcome back once again to the Idiot Section. I am your host, Senior Esteban, and along with my co-host Steve-O, have decided that the world has suffered long enough without our comedic talent and have returned to the internet to explore idiocy, educate you, and report and comment on the moronic, stupid behavior that is the human condition. To be honest, there is just so much idiocy in the world since we went on hiatus in May that we just could not stay away any longer and had to come back, report, and comment on it. Whether it be the Israelis trying to kill every Hamas insurgent or potential insurgent in Palestine, be they 100 years old or 1 month old, or the new Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, the ISIS group for short, killing and torturing any non-Islamic person or thing to death, I think it is safe to say that the Middle East is the new idiot section, and all the maps should change to reflect that. And while you may agree that is true, I assure you, intrepid idiot section fan, that the idiocy is not isolated to the Middle East, although they have the largest reservation list so far. It is election season in the good old U.S. of A., and I am sure your mailbox cubby is just chock full of candidate rubbish, telling you how awful their opponent is. If you believe the direct mailing political ads that you receive, everyone running for anything is a crook, ethically challenged, a buffoon, or worse, an Obama supporter. In case you have forgotten, our opening musical intro is called Dancing Ivories, also known as Soupy's Theme, and it was written by Al Mortimer, a pen name for Henry Jerome, and was used as the musical intro to the Soupy Sales show in the 1960s and again for his show in the 70s. I highly encourage all our listeners to Google, Bing, or peruse Henry Jerome's music as well as any information on or about the Soupy Sales show. You surely will be thrilled with what you find. As mentioned, we have not recorded a show since May of 2014. And you might be wondering why. Well, dear friends, you deserve to know the truth, at least as we choose to tell it, and this is what we came up with. First of all, yours truly, Senior Esteban, has recently been released from the Betty Ford Clinic for my addiction to pixie sticks. Sometime around Easter of 2014, I came across an unclaimed Easter basket full of candy. As my sponsor will tell you, at that time in my life, all I needed to live was air and sugar. Within that discovered Easter basket was my ultimate downfall, 10 tubes of pixie sticks. First, I tried the orange-flavored one, and that was good. But when the high on that one wore off, I tried grape. I have since learned that grape should only be tried with an experienced grape user in the room, but I didn't know that. I was found 2 days later on an elementary school's monkey bars, hanging upside down with grape pixie dust all over my face. Luckily, since I never had a prior arrest, I was released on my own recognizance, upon which I returned to my private stash in the smelly corner of my garage. When I got there, I found the heat from the garage had melted some of the contents of the pixie stick tubes, which made it difficult to suck out of the straw. I started to panic. With sweat beading on my brow, I grabbed my rusty utility knife and carefully cut the pixie stick straw down the middle, revealing the sugary and tasty contents of Maui Punch. I paused for a moment, knowing that a taste of Maui Punch in its coagulated form was a doorway from which there was no exit. But at that point in my life, I didn't care. With the sweat running into and burning my eyes, I cursed my life as a human and licked up every last crystal of Maui Punch before me and sat on the filthy concrete garage floor and waited for the euphoria I was certain was to come. My miscalculation is now the horror of criminal investigations, both foreign and domestic. What science will tell you is that when a sugary substance like pixie sticks is consumed in its crystallized, free-flowing form, you might get the sugar high you hear so much about if you are a normal 8 to 12-year-old kid. But in its melted, coagulated form, ingestion for anyone over the age of 20 is not only discouraged, it is unpredictable, and it gets worse the older the person is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 60 years old, and I am thankful to whatever deity is the flavor of the week that I am here with you today. I can honestly say that from that fateful day in May of 2014 until my release from the Betty Ford Clinic early this month, most of what I remember is a complete blur. Portions of my garage have had to be rebuilt, I am told, for what I have done to it. Neighbors that used to smile and wave to me now just look at me in horror and scurry quickly inside their homes. Their children are not allowed to speak with me or look at me anymore. And dogs in the neighborhood that I used to pet and talk to now just hide and whimper behind their owners, who, by the way, threaten to pepper spray or tase me if I get too close. Suffice it to say that my addiction to pixie sticks is under control, but will never be cured. And while my neighbors, wife, children, and my dog may not trust or want to be near me anymore, I know our faithful listeners will forgive me and join us as we skewer the idiots who deserve it. And thank you for your patience. Now, since our last show, we have had to deal with the loss of Robin Williams and this past week the loss of Joan Rivers. Although different in their approaches to comedy, I found their quick wit, high energy were always engaging and fun to watch. I know this world will be a bit more glum because of their passing, but their films, recordings, memories, and funny bits they left us with will always be a welcome relief from the daily grind of our lives, and will hopefully remind us to see the humor in all situations, no matter how dire they may be. Rest in peace, my friends. You will be missed. Now, as you may or may not remember, in our previous shows, we have learned that for whatever reason, whomever is in charge of the months seem to hijack them for their own diabolical purposes or lay claim to a handful of days within a particular month to promote their own form of propaganda or cult-like dogma. September is not immune from these kidnappings, and here are some of the stranger celebrations that you can participate in the month of September.
Most of us know that the first Monday in September is set aside as a celebration of Labor Day, giving most Americans a 3-day weekend, and also making the unofficial end to summer and the beginning of fall.
Labor Day actually has a long historical tradition about the workers that built this nation.
Please do tell.
Well, funny you should ask. Labor Day was born out of the U.S. labor movement toward the end of the 19th century, when workers sought better working conditions, fairer wages, and union representation. There is some debate over who is the true founder of the holiday. For much of history, Peter McGuire, the founder of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, was credited as the founder of Labor Day. Sources say that McGuire stood in front of the New York Central Labor Union on May 12, 1882, to declare that a day be set aside to celebrate the nation's workforce. However, recent research from the New Jersey Historical Society questions McGuire's role in the holiday's creation. The organization found a column in the New Jersey-based newspaper, The Morning Call, that referred to Matthew McGuire, a Central Labor Union of New York leader, as the father of the Labor Day holiday. Some believe that McGuire received credit for founding Labor Day because McGuire's views were too radical. At any rate, the first Labor Day holiday was signed into law in Colorado, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Oregon in 1887. The ordinance passed in many of the other states through the years, and on June 28, 1894, Congress declared the first Monday in September as Labor Day. So we hope you all enjoyed your 3-day weekend.
Yes. So, September is also known as Classic Music Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Fall Hat Month, International Square Dancing Month, Well Do-Si-Do, National Blueberry Popsicle Month. They actually make those?
They do. This is the month to have them.
National Courtesy Month. I beg your pardon.
Oh, please, excuse me.
National Piano Month. I almost thought that said National Piano Man Month.
Well, it could be.
It's just Billy Joel. Like
Billy Joel's
the entire
month,
day, everyone's like,
sing us
I want to get the hell out of this
Banana
bar
Man.
now.
Yeah.
Chicken Month. Baby Safety Month. Little League Month. So I guess if anybody's having Little League baseball games, this is the month to celebrate it.
Slugger.
Honey Month. Now, is this like honey as in Winnie the Pooh honey, or is this more like, oh, honey?
Yeah, I think Winnie the Pooh, honey. Oh, bother.
Okay, yeah. No. If you're going to do it, do it.
Oh, bother.
Thank you.
Christopher Robin.
And you know why I said that? Because
Why?
Self-Improvement Month and Better Breakfast Month.
So let's all have a better breakfast
But I
while
will
we
say
improve
this,
ourselves.
You
What?
forgot, actually, a day.
What day was that?
The day was actually on August 28th.
But that was August.
I know, but we need to mention it anyways. It was National Ghostbusters Day.
August 28th, National Ghostbusters Day.
Yeah, 30th
Wow.
anniversary of Ghostbusters.
Well, congratulations to them. September 3rd is Skyscraper Day, a day to appreciate and admire the world's tallest skyscrapers.
September 4th is International Newspaper Carriers Day. Wait, do we still have those?
Well, read on and find out.
This day honors everyone who is now or once was a newspaper carrier. The list includes thousands, if not millions, of people years ago. This job was primarily populated by kids from preteen through approximately 16.
Nowadays, it is celebrated by that drunk guy who drives a beat-up old car without a muffler around your neighborhood at 4 in the morning, delivering the newspaper to those people who haven't yet figured out how to access the news on their PCs. Now, September 5th is Be Late for Something Day, and it is a great day to be a procrastinator.
Oh, wow. Did not know that. September 5th is also Cheese Pizza Day. While there is no actual information on this day, what the heck? Everyone loves cheese pizza. Just don't be late for it.
While September 5th may be Cheese Pizza or Late for Something Day, September 6th is Fight Procrastination Day and Read a Book Day. So make a decision, take action, do it now, and I will right after I finish my cheese pizza.
The first Sunday in September is Grandparents' Day. So for all of you who still have grandparents whose parents are now not orphans, send them a card or tweet that you love them, although the tweet may never reach them on their Jitterbug 5 phones.
Yes, they're up to version 5 now on the Jitterbug. I know, because I get those ARP things.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. On September 7th, we recognize Neither Rain Nor Snow Day, which celebrates the opening of the New York Post Office building on this day in 1914.
I thought it would have just been living in Arizona Day.
No, not quite. The following inscription was inscribed on the building: Neither rain, nor snow, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. Interestingly, however, the motto is a misconception. Many people assume the inscription represents the post office motto, which is incorrect. The inscription is very close to the old Pony Express rider's motto, which actually leads to a third misconception, in that the Pony Express was not a government-funded predecessor to today's post office. The Pony Express was actually a courier and message delivery service that was privately owned and funded, more like an early version of UPS or Federal Express. And so you can see why your U.S. government mail is always misplaced or lost, because all of the misconceptions is that it's actually supposed to work.
September 8th has 3 days attached to it. First, it's International Illiteracy Day, which is a funny name to give those people because half of them cannot pronounce it, so that's just mean.
Right.
Created by the United Nations. Second is the National Date Nut
Bread Day.
Bread Day. See? Literacy. Bread Day. So enjoy a slice of date nut bread while you are reading a book. Thirdly, it is Pardon Day, as in, pardon me, I just ate the last piece of date nut bread. Or, excuse me, I just destroyed your favorite book. In today's busy society, too many people race about their lives, forgetting the small courtesies in life. Among the easy thing is to simply, let simply by is...
Hey, September 9th is Teddy Bear Day.
Yes, and September 10th is probably a day you'll need after Teddy Bear Day is Sewing Machine Day and Swap Ideas Day, such as, what the hell happened to this teddy bear?
Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we swap Idea Day with Sewing Machine Day? September 11th is Remembrance Day. I strongly ask all of our listeners to display their American flags on this day in a show of defiance that we, as a nation, will never be intimidated by terrorists and will continue to uphold our values as Americans, no matter how screwed up they may be.
While there are many exciting things to celebrate in the month of September, some of our favorites are September 12th is National Video Game Day and Chocolate Milkshake Day, which I just think that's a bad combination if you think about it, because now I'm just sitting on the couch drinking milkshake and playing video games.
Right.
And they wonder why America is obese.
Right, exactly. Well, September 13th is Fortune Cookie Day, National Peanut Day, Positive Thinking Day, and Uncle Sam Day.
September 14th is National Cream-Filled Donut Day.
Donuts. September 18th is National Cheeseburger Day, but September 19th is National Butterscotch Pudding Day and International Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Yarr, you want a cheeseburger?
Arr, I do.
Well, you have to go to the National Butterscotch River to get one.
Oh.
And let me tell you, mates, it's not a good ride.
No, I guess it's not.
Hey, so a pirate walks into a bar, and he has a steering wheel on his area where his manhood should be. And the bartender goes, "Oh, what's the steering wheel for?" He goes,
Yark, it's driving me nuts.
Ah, I see. Well, what's September 22nd?
Well, obviously, I forgot, which I should actually remember because it's September 22nd is Elephant Appreciation Day, and September 25th is National Comic Book Day.
Well, September 26th is Johnny Appleseed Day, and September 28th is Ask a Stupid Question Day.
And you know one of the questions you can ask on that day?
What?
Who the hell is Johnny Appleseed?
Exactly. Actually, it's not a stupid question. Well, check out Disney old cartoons. There's a great one about Johnny Appleseed by sprinkling apple seeds all over the country where they didn't grow naturally.
Yeah, so how did that work out for him?
Oh, not too well. Please, but ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy each and every bizarre and unique holiday in September, but do so responsibly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time, once again, for our disclaimer.
Whatever you hear us say,
whatever opinions we share,
whatever comments we make,
these and any off-the-cuff remarks, parodies, ad-libs, or conveyances, real or imagined, are merely the opinions, beliefs, and desperate attempts at humor by the members of the Idiot Section, and do not in any way, shape, or form attest to, nor represent the views, opinions, or philosophies of the Four-Eyed Radio Network, the Socially Awkward Studios, any of the sponsors, or their poor families who have tried unsuccessfully to distance themselves from any affiliation with the above for the sake of their children, their own good names, and the parents that raised them.
Furthermore, any and all celebrities' impersonations you may hear on the show, even if they sound nothing like the individual being impersonated, are for entertainment purposes only and are not an endorsement of this show by the badly imitated celebrities.
This show is for entertainment purposes only, and we use entertainment very lightly. Oh, sure, you can find better entertainment almost anywhere else. But if you are listening to me right now, you would actually have to turn this crap off and find something better. Now, is that effort you really want to waste? I don't think so. In case you don't know, you may be shocked to learn that this is our 23rd show for the Four-Eyed Radio Network, or the Fern. But no more so than us, who can't believe that we have pulled enough rubbish off the internet to make fun of for 23 shows. We are sure that our well-informed and well-read audience have been following the many situations happening on this insane planet and have come up with our own thoughts and feelings on them. Well, let's catch up with the members of the Idiot section to see what they've been up to. Hey, Steve-O, what you been doing lately?
Well, running the shows, doing podcasting, doing stand-up comedy, doing everything, going to really, really bizarre parties. And that's about it. Yourself.
Well, since our last show in May, I have been making use of my overpriced healthcare insurance by seeing my primary care physician, who, I am beginning to figure out, doesn't know shit about medicine, because he keeps sending me to, in quotations, specialists. Now, the fun thing about healthcare...
Well, you have to realize the specialists are like, damn.
Yeah. It's like, well, I can't fix your foot. You'll have to go to a toe specialist. I said, so you go to him. He says, well, I can't fix your toenail. You have to go to a toenail specialist. And then, I can't fix your toenail. You got to go to a fungal specialist. Well, the whole thing about healthcare industry today is that while a doctor's visit to a primary care physician is usually between $10 and $20 a visit, a specialist visit is classified as one that costs you $30 to $50. Now, also, while you may need to see your primary care physician twice, maybe 4 times a year, a specialist wants you to come back multiple times. Now, I've also noticed a new trend in medicine, which I call merchandising. Now, it's bad enough that I just shelled out between $30 and $50 just to get in the door and talk to one of these specialists, and now they want to sell me all these wonderful products that they and they alone distribute at a cost between $50 and $100 to help me treat my affliction. Now, I kind of expect a hairstylist or a barber to try to sell me products, overpriced products at their place, because they have their shelves stocked with this stuff that has more dust on it than probably a mummy, but they're still trying to sell it as, the latest and greatest stuff. But I'd like to know when a doctor's office became a retail store as well. Now, aren't there any generic prescriptions for like maybe $4 that you can prescribe that do the same thing? I think there are, but then the doctor won't be able to make his next Lamborghini payment. Besides making exotic car payments for doctors, your mom and I recently found a realtor that seems to want to work with us to help find a smaller home. We met her once at a house already, which was okay, but she already gave us a chance to tell her what we're looking for, and now she stays in touch with us more than the last guy did. We'll keep our fingers crossed that she can help us find something decent. As a matter of fact, she came to the house the other day and checked it out, and she already said we could probably get $35,000 more for the house than the last guy did who came in. So I like her already.
Well, that's good. Or you can just leave me the house and.
Oh, and then we'll just move out into like a storage shed or something. Yeah. That sounds. I'll ask your mom that when I get home. Yeah. I'm sure she'll go for it.
She'll be down for it.
Yeah, I'm sure she will be. Hey, I got a shout out.
You know
this
what she
week.
would just say though is, "Are you kidding me?"
Exactly. Anyway, I have this is a point in the show where I like to give out a shout out, and my shout out this week is to the idiot hacker or hackers who were able to breach Apple's iCloud security to steal and post private naked pictures of several celebrities.
Look, that guy is a hero. So.
Yeah, he is. Although the media and other internet sites reported the story as photos that were leaked, the bottom line is that they were not leaked, they were stolen. Much the same as if someone broke into your house, cracked open your safe, and removed the pictures you took of your bar mitzvah and pinned them up on the local supermarket corkboard for all to see. Ira, you were so cute. Oi!
Oy vey.
Yeah. There is really no difference between what these people did and what the hackers who stole credit card data from Target and potentially from Home Depot or bank information from J.P. Morgan did. Besides being criminal, it's just wrong. Now, what I love is, according to the internet, some people are actually blaming the victims for putting that type of information in the cloud, saying that they should have just kept the information private. Well, that's like saying, well, you should have not used your credit card at Target or banked at J.P. Morgan because this could happen and you will get what you deserve. The real issue is that places like Target, J.P. Morgan, and Apple have a shitload ton of money that they should be investing in their computer security rather than bonuses for their CEOs. There is an implied trust that these organizations, by the nature of the business, will protect the customer data that they are required to do business with. Now, from what I read, Target actually knew about the security flaws in their system prior to them being exploited and did nothing about it. That's why I think their CEO and their chief security officer were let go. But a little too late, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if the same is true for J.P. Morgan or Apple, but why is it that a bunch of unfunded computer geeks can hack their way into Apple and steal personal data that Apple was entrusted to protect?
I actually have the answer for that.
I don't want to hear it just yet. I would think that Apple has a highly paid group of computer security analysts whose job it is to prevent this very thing. I'm thinking maybe Apple should hire the hackers. But for some reason, hackers like to think that there are these outlaws living on the edge of society and using their talents for hurtful, destructive, or criminal means. I liken what they do to taggers or the idiots that vandalize property by spray painting them with stupid pictures, words, or symbols, and then just run away. I learned a long time ago that it is much easier to destroy something than it is to build it. Now, if these people truly wanted to be impressive, they would use their talents to create apps that would be useful, or better yet, share what you found with Apple so they could have plugged the security hole you uncovered. How much more impressive is that than showing the world what cretins you really are and are now being hunted by the FBI? Thank you for showing the truly demented, juvenile, and stupid side of the human race. You certainly have earned your own table in the idiot section. Oh, and by the way, we don't have Wi-Fi. What were you going to say about Apple?
I was going to say the reason why now we have all these geeky computer people hacking into things and doing whatever they want is like what Glenn Beck said.
What was that?
The Watchdog video game has taught all children to hack.
That's it. We can blame it on that one video game.
Just blame it on that one video game. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's stupid. The thing I really hate, though, is how the celebrities now have to come out and do their apologies saying, like, oh, I'm sorry that this was leaked to the public. And I'm like, okay, first off, no. That's not their fault because, don't get me wrong, everybody has sent pictures and they have sent stuff that they don't want other people to see. They just want those people to see. And yes, that happens. The other part is most of these celebrities, and not trying to say they're dumb or anything, but most of these celebrities they have somebody who does pretty much all their stuff for them.
Right.
They don't come up with good passwords. They don't come up with good email addresses. Literally, most of these celebrities' email addresses, which you use like on your iPhone and stuff like that, is just their name at whateverit.com.
Right.
So it's not like not like a crazy email or anything like that because
it's not a big stretch to figure out who they are.
Exactly. So it's not like, and then doing their password is probably easy. They just probably pick out something. Oh, this person's maybe doing this, and stuff. So, but when everyone says like they have to come out and apologize, it's like, how can you put this smut on the internet? It's like, well, first off, we didn't. First off, this stuff was sent to my significant other, or this was just something I was doing,
or this is something I stored on my private storage in the cloud.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If it's going into the cloud, like Apple, get off your asses and do stuff. I feel the same way when a comedian gets busted at a comedy show where they're like, oh, I can't believe you said that. You need to apologize. I'm like, no. You went to go see a comedian at a comedy show.
Did you get offended? Oh,
well, that's
deal
your
with
fault.
your offense.
Now, if he's on CNN, that comedian, and just blurts out something that was like, oh, what, national TV or something like that, then yeah, we can all jump on his case. But if they're at a venue where you go to, it's like going to a movie. That's what I like to know. Can I start saying all these directors now have to apologize for me for making a bunch of bad movies that I saw? Yeah. Can I get that?
Yeah, can I get that? Yeah, well, to be honest, a long time ago, when they first started, it's bad enough. Basically, everybody's email and everything is in what they call the cloud.
Yeah.
There are servers that,
Skynet.
Whether you're on Yahoo or Gmail or MSN or anything like that, your email and all the stuff that you send to and from people is on their servers.
Yeah.
But like some of the other stuff they're doing, like Google Drive, like we use it to put our show notes on and stuff, and then SkyDrive, which is now OneDrive, I guess, from MSN. That's another one. But I usually only put stuff out there that I'm sharing that's really not sensitive.
Yes.
I really don't. It isn't that important to me. You know, if somebody were to come hack the drive and steal all the Idiot Section show, well, you know, God bless you. You know, I'm so glad you think we're that worthy of your time.
They're like, haha, we have 23 shows, and now we're gonna call it the Moron Section. Yeah,
I will fix that.
We'll get them.
Yeah, but I mean, really, you know, I can understand why some people would say, you know, it's part of the victim's fault by putting stuff out there. But by the same token, it's like these companies make it seem like it's a secure and, you know, and by the nature of their business, they're supposed to be believing them, and they do that. But personally, myself, I don't put anything of value out
that's
there.
the thing. Like, literally, I have pictures and stuff like that still on my old phone, and then right when I got the new phone, they're like, "Oh, would you like to upload all your stuff to the cloud?" I'm like, "No, I'll just back it off onto my computer."
Right.
Because I really don't trust that thing. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
for all I know, someone's gonna go up there, and then it's like they can email me back the cloud was hacked and we lost everything. So then it was like, what was the point of even doing that? Well, that was the thing. I think it happened 2 years ago with PlayStation Network. They got hacked.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, they came out and they were like, we apologize, we're sorry, you know, your account might be compromised, all this kind of stuff. But lucky for me, I didn't have like a PlayStation Plus account or anything like that, so I didn't really worry about any credit card information or whatnot. I'm like, all they're going to do is spam me with my email, I guess. But then PlayStation came out, I think, before the end of that year, and everybody, even if you weren't hacked, even if you just jumped on the PlayStation Network like a week ago, they gave you like, here's 5 free games, here's all this stuff, like here's a free month of this, and they're like, oh wow, you guys like, they knew, hey look, we screwed up, we're going to make it up to you, so on and so forth. But that's the one thing I was saying, because I'm like, now everyone has to pay for PlayStation Online, like the PlayStation Plus. Before you didn't have to do that. I'm like, well, that's probably why you got hacked. And everyone always bitches about Microsoft Xbox, where they're all like, I don't want to pay for gold. I'm like, okay, when you pay for gold, they take that money and they're putting it towards security. They're
reinvesting it in the product.
That's why it's all like that.
That's
makes
why
sense.
you like the products they make. You enjoy the new updates they have. Your money does that.
That's why I always tell people, I'm like, that's why I never played online with PlayStation, because it's free and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And then Xbox, it's really simple.
Oh, it's like they say, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. So, but now with PlayStation 4, it looks like they got their network together, because now they're charging. They're like, oh, we're gonna have to charge for you guys. But but guess what? No, all the PlayStation fans didn't come out and go like, "Oh, I'm not paying for this." They're like, "Oh, this is awesome now." Oh, it's like, God, you guys are so.
Well, you know, if you make a product decent enough, people don't mind paying for it.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, look, I have no problem paying for stuff if you're going to reinvest that money and put it towards. If you're just taking the money and throwing it in your mattress,
right?
And it's like, why am I paying for the service if it's on a 56K modem, which I believe my company runs on now?
Those are the best.
So, do you have idiot stories of the week?
Well, while you're thinking, here are some of the highlights from the past week's news that I came up with. Now, on September 1st, the Daily Mail Online reported that a new survey has found that half of 26 to 35-year-old women were unable to correctly identify a vagina on a medical diagram of the female reproductive system. In contrast, the majority of older women, aged 66 to 75, were much better educated about their body parts. The study, by a women's cancer charity called the Eve Appeal, found that less than a quarter of the 16 to 25-year-olds said they felt confident that they were well informed about gynecological health issues, compared to more than 42% of women aged 66 to 75. Now, ladies, I got to tell you, if you don't know where it is, how the hell do you expect us to find it?
Actually, there was a study that a guy's been doing for, I think, maybe 20 or 30 years, this Italian doctor, and he passed on his work to, I guess, his son. They were talking about it. There is no G-spot.
There is no G-spot.
There is no magical spot on a woman or anything like that. Like he did. It was great because when they were talking about it on the radio, they're doing like, I've been trying to find it.
Actually, no, that's false. There is a spot on a woman that is magically orgasmic to them. It's called their pocketbook.
That is true. And they always wanted.
And the more you put stuff in there, the hotter they get.
But no, that's not necessarily.
Well, from what I've seen. Hey, on September 2nd, in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, a 34-year-old man was arrested for allegedly driving drunk after he drove through a construction zone and a police department's front yard, hitting a drive sober or get pulled over sign before being arrested. Now, the police found that the vehicle was stopped where there wasn't a stop sign and noticed that the front two tires were flat. While inspecting the vehicle, the police noticed additional damage that they attributed to the damaged sign, and the alleged driver was tested and was found to be 3 times over the legal limit. You know, it's really too bad he didn't see the sign before he started drinking.
Or he did. You know, it was a sad part, though, while he was driving.
Yeah.
There was a song playing going, I saw the sign, and it opened up my mind.
What was that? Huh? There's a bumpy road.
All right.
Hey, one of our favorite places for weird or idiot stories is Florida, and this next story is no exception. It might even be titled Breaking Badly.
Ooh.
Now, on August 31st in Jacksonville, Florida, the county sheriff's office responded to a report of 3 people screaming that they were being held hostage. When the police arrived at the home, they were told the 3 supposed victims were taken hostage for several hours and that they were shot at in the home. Police soon discovered that the group had, in fact, hallucinated while on meth. One woman said she had been stabbed by a suspect, but authorities said she only had a light scratch on her abdomen that appeared to be self-inflicted. It was later determined that numerous windows were shot out and holes were shot in the walls. They completely removed a large rear window from the back of the house on the 2nd floor and threw the bathroom sink at the imaginary attackers. Chunks of sheetrock, wood, firearm parts, and anything they could tear out of the residence was thrown outside, including the toilet, which was ripped from the floor. In total, more than $10,000 of damage was done to the residence. All 3 were charged with possession of meth, attempt to manufacture meth, felony criminal mischief, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Remember, kids, don't do drugs.
You know, the police officer had a field day with that. They're like,
Oh,
man, they must have thrown everything out there but the kitchen sink.
I
There
guess
it is.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a section I call The Missing Link.
Finally, Bigfoot, let's get it.
I'm sorry. No, it's still not about
You're no fun.
This is a section,
This
Steve-O,
is why the other one left.
in which we discuss websites, links, customer service supporting websites that either don't work or take you to some other weird and wacky place that no one should have to see. My missing link this week is more of a scientific contradiction than a website mishap. Now, it is rare that I watch an actual show on TV anymore that I haven't DVR'd, streamed, or borrowed on a DVD. So what usually happens is that our shows are over before the 9 o'clock news starts. So when this happens, we end up on the news channel and watch the last 10 minutes or so of Dr. Oz. Well, sometime last week, Dr. Oz had a guest or two on discussing the benefits of drinking 3 cups of black coffee a day to help prevent, if not cure, potential liver cancer. Using some giant sponges, balloons, and plastic tubing.
I fucking hate Dr. Oz.
Yeah, I know. He showed how the coffee in the bloodstream could actually starve cancer cells in the liver, preventing them from growing and saving the liver. You know, I got to hand it to the guy. He puts all this shit together on his show and he shows it. It's like, you know, if I was a 10-year-old kid, I'd love to do stuff like that.
This is the problem. Dr. Oz, okay, the problem with Dr. Oz, he should be geared towards kids because he's like the new Bill Nye.
Yeah, yeah.
Where he's able to take stuff and be like, oh, check this out. It's like MacGyver. But that's it. But
and he's got all these animations and
Yeah,
stuff. It's just, you know, it's really cool.
well, it has a production now because now he's moving to Fox.
Oh, yeah. Well, since I drink about 2.5 cups of black coffee a day, I felt pretty good about that news and tucked that info away for a future party filler. And when I'm at a party, hey, people, oh, you know, coffee's bad for you.
Hey,
I found out this.
What I heard from Dr. Oz.
Well, imagine my surprise when on September 3rd, 2014, I received a tweet from Daily Mail Online that says Italian researchers, probably the ones that couldn't find the G-spot.
Look at me. I couldn't find anything, but I'm drinking a lot of coffee.
Anyway, actually, they're not, because these Italian researchers have found that those who regularly drink coffee increase the risk of pre-diabetes and early stage 2 diabetes. And it's like, say what?
This is why you can't have the cheese bar, because you have diabetes. That's how I'm drinking the coffee.
Now, the only way that I can think of balancing the two out now is to drink alcohol at night to give my liver something to do, and then coffee in the morning to correct what the alcohol does. To me, that's the best way, best of both worlds.
2 birds with 1 stone. Irish up your coffee.
Oh, now you're talking. Hey, my second missing link, or more like piss poor service, comes from my cell phone provider, AT&T.
Well, because you have the Jitterbug 5 phone.
Oh, maybe that's it. Anyway, I have a family plan in which my wife, 2 children, and I share 10 gigabytes of data a month. While this is rarely an issue, occasionally when one of my children has their Wi-Fi shut off or they are not near a Wi-Fi source, I get an alert from AT&T that I am approaching my limit. This works great, and it gives me an opportunity to log into my account and turn off sharing the 10 gigabytes with them so I can save on potential overages. Well, last month, even though I shut one number down, AT&T allowed that number to continue to use the data plan until I called customer service and stopped it at $60 worth. Now, they agreed that it was their issue, and they said they would have someone from customer service would call me at 10 a.m. on Friday, August 29th, to resolve the issue and remove it from my bill. I said if I did not hear from them by 10:30, then I had to give them a call. Well, lo and behold, August 29th comes, 10 a.m., my notification goes off on my phone. I waited for AT&T's call, didn't come. I called them at 10:25, spoke to a wonderful woman called Brenda who removed the charge from my bill, and that was it. I figured, great. Well, at 2:30 p.m. that day, I received a text message from AT&T telling me that they would be calling me within the hour to help resolve the issue that I resolved 4 hours earlier. I texted them back, letting them know that it was resolved and thought that was the end of it. At 3 p.m., 5 hours after the arranged call on 7:30 was made.
Are they like the cable company now?
Yeah, I don't know. AT&T calls me. I let it go to voicemail as I was in the middle of working on an issue for a client. And that's why I had scheduled it for 10 o'clock that morning, because I knew I'd be busy later on in the day. Well, they called me again on Friday, August 29th, but this time at 6 p.m. on a long weekend to resolve my issue, an issue that had been resolved 7.5 hours earlier. Now, had someone at AT&T reviewed the notes of my issue prior to the call, they probably would have realized that it was resolved and it could have saved them some time. Thankfully, I followed up where AT&T did not and resolved my own issue on my own terms.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I think it's so dumb where like they... Adam Carolla says it best with this. He's all like, they tell you, I'll show you got to be here between this time and this time. And then what happened to Adam one time is somebody canceled on him, and they're like, but we'll reschedule it. He's like, but you canceled on me. Why do I have to wait again another day now? Why do I have to take a completely another day off because you canceled on me? It's not like I called you and canceled, and that's on me. He's like, you canceled on me, and then now you're telling me I have to do this again like another day of the week. So it's all like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, they make it sound like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, look, we realize that you took half a day off from work for us to come by, but that's okay because we're going to make you do it again because of our convenience.
Yeah, it's just dumb. But that's the thing is weird because with the data sharing and everything like that, it's like as soon as I come into a place that I know has Wi-Fi, your phone will just automatically pick it up, or if you have the password and everything like that. So it's a good way of not. But that's like me. I download podcasts, and then when I go to work, I'll listen to podcasts while I work because I'm allowed to do that. But I won't go to work and then pull up my thing and then download it from there because then it's just eating up things. I'm here, I have the internet. Download them here, you're done, and then you head off and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
A lot of times your phone will even set up to say don't do any downloading until you're attached to Wi-Fi.
But it's just very weird. But I don't think I have any broken links. I haven't run across anything.
Well, what I'd like to do is there's another topic that we sometimes go on. It's called, Hey, What's on Your Mind? Or what I've added, the idiot rant. Because this is me as an idiot ranting on something or other. And my rant today is about the proposed $15 an hour raise that fast food workers of America are protesting for. Now, on September 4th, 2014, fast food workers from around 150 cities across the United States went on strike in an effort to secure higher wages and the right to join a union. They were rallying for an industry minimum wage of $15 per hour and the ability to organize. The current median hourly wage for cooks, cashiers, and crews at these restaurants is around $9 an hour. Many arrests have been made as the protesters march under their "whatever it takes" slogan. One Pizza Hut worker from Kansas City said, "The company should pay me more. I am worth more." Now, this person who makes $9 an hour also told The Guardian this week, They make billions a year, and I don't even get health insurance. The CEO gets health insurance. Now, while I understand that the CEO of Pizza Hut and every other CEO makes a ton of money and has health insurance, I also think that those CEOs went to college and got a degree and perhaps a master's and have proved their value to the stockholders who feel they are worthy of the money that they make. They put in their time, they invested in their education, and now they are reaping the benefits of their hard work. Even U.S. President Barack Obama acknowledged the planned demonstrations and the strife of fast food workers during an address on Labor Day this week. He said, "All across the country right now, there is a national movement going on made up of fast food workers organizing to lift wages so they can provide for their families with pride and dignity," Obama said. "There is no denying a simple truth. America deserves a raise."
And then he finished off with, I'm going to be...
I'm going to go see Stonehenge on your dime.
He's like, I'm going to be out pretty soon. I'm not going to have to worry about any of this, so I'm out.
Yeah. Bye. Well, first of all, when was the last time Obama or any of his family members actually ate at a fast food restaurant? Okay, I think it's...
You have... okay, literally, you're the president. I would not eat at a fast food restaurant because you have people cooking for you, like, all the time.
Right.
And you can get them to do anything you want.
Right.
Like, it's not like a set... You're like, oh, I want lobster tonight or something.
I want waffle tacos.
Yeah, waffle
got it,
tacos. They just go... Then just walk down, grab the Taco Bell, come back.
Come back, says, that guy only makes $9 an hour. Hey, why not? I think it's great that he could come out and side with the workers, but provide absolutely no plan for how the businesses are supposed to absorb the additional cost. Or wait, I know. They will have to raise their prices, forcing the low-income people who eat there to now find another way to feed themselves. Mm-hmm. Also, I love how Obama makes it seem like it is the business's fault for paying these people so poorly. How about all those companies the United States allows to operate overseas, pay little if no taxes, outsource U.S. jobs, but will accept hefty campaign donations from them to get elected and reelected? Realistically, if Obama and the rest of the House and Senate were serious, they would be working on creating better, high-paying jobs.
Yes.
Not forcing already strapped businesses to pay unskilled and unqualified people more money than they are worth. That extra money will have to come out of the business and, in turn, out of the neighborhoods that they operate in. What burns me is that I have two kids who have been working for many years at jobs just barely making them $12 an hour. If a fast food starts paying $15 an hour, who do you think is going to start applying for these jobs?
Yeah.
What do you think will happen with the people currently working there? People making $12 an hour will go work for fast food for another $3 an hour, who are probably more qualified. So these people are going to be out of jobs anyway. Plus, they're going to have to cut back hours because they're not. I mean, are you really going to go in and pay $5 or $6 for a Big Mac?
That's the thing. It's like, I was going to say that the prices are going to go up. So now it's not going to be like our dollar menu. It's going to be like our $8 menu. And then it even comes down to that's the other thing I was saying because I'm like, sure, you want to raise it to 15, great and all. But then how many people are you going to let go because you're not going to have somebody on the clock 40 hours? Like guaranteed, you're probably going to cut people's hours down so much that the $15 isn't going to matter.
Right.
And then, of course, you're not going to be bringing in that much more money because like me, I guarantee, okay, if I'm going to pay $8 for a burger, I'm going to go somewhere that's good. I'm not going to, you go to fast food because it's like, oh, it's late, I'm hungry, I really don't want to cook anything right now. That's what it's called, fast food. I don't go, I want a gourmet burger.
Yes.
Let's go to McDonald's.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
could you put some
But I'll say this.
gorgonzola on that for me,
all right,
please?
you want to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour? Great. And then every other company then needs to change their things. Then that means where I'm working, minimum wage is $15, I get paid $18 now.
Right. But then everything else goes up too. So now all the guys in the grocery store where you're paying like
I was making $6.50 when I worked at the grocery store.
So now you go buy a bag of lemons for like $10. Mm-hmm. Now you're probably spending 25 or
exactly. Like basically, what you want to do, you want to change everything into California.
Yeah. Well, basically, what you need to do is
California.
I remember reading somebody else said this. The thing is, this is, politically it's great for everybody to complain about, oh, yeah, let's give everybody a raise. Everybody should have a raise. Everybody should have more money. Yeah, that's great. But the problem is, what are the consequences of that? That's not the issue. The issue is We need to create better jobs in this country so people can aspire to go them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to create jobs that people can actually grow in. You need to create a career, like someone who like I've told people, it's like I want to get into a place where it's like I want to start a career. It's not like I'm going to be jumping. This is why I said when people complain about that, like I read one story where one woman's like, I can't afford to pay my rent. And I'm all like, well, where are you living, first of all? And you're working at McDonald's or something like that. I go, look, you work at a fast food restaurant, okay? If you're doing the fryer, you're doing the drive-through windows of that, you do that as a high schooler, maybe throughout a little bit of college.
Right.
Sometimes those kids get
or you maybe do it part-time to kind of supplement your regular job.
Exactly. And there's that time where it's all like, oh, okay, oh, you want to be made an assistant manager and you get more money and stuff like that. Okay, if you're 30-something years old, 40-something years old, and you're working the fryer at McDonald's and you're going, they're not paying me that much. No. You fucked up in life.
Yeah.
Something did not go your way, and you chose to stay there.
Yeah. To me, this whole thing just smacks of political BS. If the fast food workers organize and get their $15 an hour, how much of that is going to actually go to union dues?
Exactly.
Okay, unions are notorious for supporting Democratic candidates. So who will benefit the most from this union deal happens? The Democrats. Now, the bottom line, as far as I can see it, is that, like I said before, we need to provide affordable training to the people of this country and then make sure that we have good quality jobs for them to apply for. This way, someone working at a fast food can learn a new trade and then leave their $9 job for a $15 one and continue to improve from there. Mm-hmm. We also need to look at ways to save or increase good jobs in this country and keep them here. This is what these people should be protesting, not about a crappy undeserved raise that they may not get once other better qualified low-income workers apply for them. I'm sure there are people on the other side of this discussion. Let me know how you feel by contacting us at the Idiot Section on Twitter. We'd love to hear if you agree or disagree with us, or even if you're listening to us.
By the way, I can't wait to get some $8 burgers.
$8 burgers at McDonald's.
But when I heard about that, I was just all like, you realize how many people are at like a job right now that are not making $15 an hour. If that goes through, they're just going to quit.
They're going to quit and go work for fast food.
Yeah.
So then those people who get displaced from their jobs at McDonald's or Wendy's or any other fast food, they'll have to go back and get that $9 job that
I
other
just
people
realized
left.
that they're gonna do that. They would get other people. They're like, well, I'm hiring him. He's got all this stuff.
Well, look at him. He's been at community college.
Yeah.
He's got customer service. He does this. I'll hire him at $15. What do you have? You have barely a GED. That's all you have. Well, see ya. I'll have this guy.
That's what's gonna happen. And then they're gonna be sitting at the corporate job now. They get the 9-to-5 job. They get like all this stuff, and they're just gonna be like, I'm not making $15 an hour. This is an outrage. And then they're gonna have to do another bill. It's just this vicious fucking. You know what? This is going to be this is the downfall of Western civilization.
Yep, fast food.
Fast food.
Well, it started that a long time ago.
It's time for Senior Esteban's movie, TV, CDs, anything you need, reviews. Take it away, Senior Esteban.
Thank you, Imitation Don Pardo, who also
Just
passed away not too long ago. Actually, Don Pardo, I don't know if I ever told you this. When many years ago, before I met your mom, when I was living in a house with a bunch of guys, we went to see Frank Zappa in New York City, and he had Don Pardo on stage with him as part of his ensemble and stuff. Don Pardo actually sang part of Slime from the Video live with Frank Zappa. Yeah, he was actually on there doing his thing. And then the funniest part about that was, I don't know if Don Pardo was messed up or stuff. He sure looked it, but
I was on heroin.
Frank Zappa comes out and he goes, "Do you people want to?" He says, "Hey, do you people want to see Don Pardo go fucking crazy?" And of course, the crowd goes nuts. Yeah, we want to see him go. Well, here's Don Pardo going fucking crazy. Don Pardo comes out in a completely white satin tux, tails, top hat, cane, the whole bit, and he comes right off the stage and starts walking on the chair tops, and people grabbing his, and he just walked from one end to the other, just waving his hands around and stuff. It was hysterical. It was so cool. After that,
he out of my mind.
Yeah, he was.
Which actually, now that does kind of sound like him. I should hit up SNL. I'll be like, look, I know it's too soon, but you guys need a replacement.
Yeah, you need another.
You need another man.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. Like, not
yeah.
only was he on SNL, like he actually was on SNL for when it started,
Right.
and then there was like a break where he wasn't on it. And
Well,
then
they said he was the
became-
longest SNL
Yeah.
member ever on the show.
And then I forget he did like a couple of other things that were talking about his little piece of history, which I thought was kind of cool. So, but yeah, so you will be missed. Anyway, so what do you got for us?
Well, today's movie review is brought to you by Insomnia. When you can't sleep, watch movies.
I thought you meant like the movie Insomnia.
No.
That's a good film.
Well, one of the first movies I saw, actually, I've seen a lot of movies since May, but these are the only ones I can remember.
You can remember.
Because of Insomnia.
Well, here you go. One of the first movies we saw was actually up for quite a few Academy Awards. It was called August, Osage County. It was about a area in Oklahoma, starring Meryl Streep, Ewan McGregor, Julia Roberts, Benedict Cumberbatch, just to name a few. Now, this is from a play by Tracy Letts, who also wrote the screenplay for the movie. And I got to tell you, if you think your family is screwed up, you have got to watch this movie for a comparison. The performances by everyone are stellar, and I was particularly surprised by Benedict Cumberbatch's performance as a slow, dim-witted guy was so different from the strong characters that he usually plays that was very impressive. The story is about Meryl Streep, who is dying of cancer, and her alcoholic husband who kills himself. Now, this causes the family to come back to Oklahoma and deal with each other, their upbringing, and the upbringing of their mother and aunt, played by Margot Martindale. Just when you think the family can't get any more screwed up, it does. So I highly recommend this movie. It's really, the actors are very good in it. The other movie I saw was Non-Stop, starring Liam Neeson, Julianne Moore, Scoot McNairy, and Anson Mount, the guy from Hell on Wheels.
Now, is this just him in a plane just going, I don't have a lot of money, but what I do have is some pilot skills, and I know how to land a plane. I will find it. I will land it.
And it would be in an airport near you.
And there might be a delay.
Actually, this is a typical Liam Neeson action movie, although this time he is a federal marshal who gets text messages that one person will die every half hour unless the extortionist gets $5 million in their bank account. Liam also has to deal with his alcoholism, the loss of his daughter, and other baggage to identify and stop the guy before he kills everyone. This was a good action movie to see.
I really just want like Liam Neeson to have just a movie that just literally the title, they can't use the title, but literally the title should just be like, Don't Fuck with Liam Neeson. Yeah, really. And it's just like, it's not even like an action movie. Like, it just turns into one, like, see him at the coffee place, like Starbucks, and it's all like, oh, can I get a black coffee and everything? They're like, okay, and then they give it to me. This is soy! Ah!
And he goes out and starts killing everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the movies I did see in the theater with my co-host here and his brother was A Million Ways to Die in the West, starring Seth MacFarlane, Charlize Theron, Liam Neeson, again, of all people, Amanda Seyfried, Giovanni Ribisi, Neil Patrick Harris, Sarah Silverman, and cameos by Ewan McGregor, Ryan Reynolds, and Bill Maher, to name a few.
And also a secret one at the end. So if it's still in theaters or when it comes out, make sure to stay until the closing credits, because there was a really good one, and I was like, that was good.
Yep. That was actually pretty funny. If I had the money that Seth MacFarlane does, and I could make a movie that I could not only star in, but get to make out with Charlize Theron during it, I would do it. You bet I would do it. And on that premise alone is how and why I think this movie was made. Considering some of the hard-ass roles Giovanni Ribisi has played, his portrayal of a shy, bashful businessman in love with a prostitute played by Sarah Silverman was great. She was also very good, too.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie with some homage to Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles, which, in my opinion, is still one of the funniest satires of the Western yet to be made. Seth MacFarlane played his character as Seth MacFarlane. I think it's worth viewing, but I would get it on Netflix or the library. What was your take on that?
I will say this. I liked the movie. I thought it was a very well done movie. I wouldn't say it's like drop-dead comedy or stuff like that, but they did have a lot of good stuff. It was a completely different movie than I thought it was going to be. But I think, again, Seth MacFarlane is basically just Brian being in the West.
Right. Yeah.
That's basically like. Don't get me wrong. I love Seth MacFarlane. I think he's great genius. But what I really hate is just everything afterwards. Like the movie comes out, and I saw like people on Facebook and everything. Like I've gone into movies now where I don't have any expectations. So when I leave the movie, I'm just like, if I'm leaving, I'm like, you know what, that was pretty enjoyable. That was pretty fun. You know, I think it did its job.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to say like, oh, this is the new Blazing Saddles, because I think they're completely two different films.
Right, they are.
Which again, that's what even Seth MacFarlane said. He's like, I want to do a type of Blazing Saddle, but not Blazing Saddles. You know, he's
right.
like, I want to do my own kind of spaghetti western. People came out and they're like, Seth MacFarlane should not make movies anymore. And I'm like, he's made two. And Ted, I thought was good, and this one again, I thought it was funny. Like I said, I wouldn't go out and say like if it was in theater still, I would say see a matinee. Don't pay full price.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay.
Wait for Netflix. Wait for library. You know, wait for someone to get it and give it to you as a gift or something like that. Like it's not one of these movies that you should go see. Luckily, it wasn't in 3D or anything like that. So,
yeah.
But I thought it was very entertaining. I think everybody did a great job in it. But yeah, it's just funny when they say this person should not make movies anymore. I go, no. A person who should not make movies anymore is Michael Bay. Okay.
That's a recurring theme with you.
I
isn't it?
fucking hate Bay. Like, and this is the sad part. I want to punch the guy who edited the Transformers film, the last one I saw.
Yeah.
Because he did the I'm like, I'm not seeing this. Michael Bay's taking enough of my money. Screw this. They put that trailer together. I'm like, this looks interesting. Oh my god, this looks good. I'm gonna go see this now. And then you see it, and you're like, Bay did it again. Where he's like, he just knows how to. Someone knows how to cut his trailers.
You know what he does? He does a bait and switch.
But Michael Bay, just return. You're like Midnight Shyamalama Ding Dong. Just leave.
Hey, but I heard you also saw Guardians of the Galaxy starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Dave Bautista, Lee Pace, Glenn Close, John C. Reilly, Benicio del Toro, just to name a bunch. So why do you think this is getting all the acclaim it's getting?
Okay, well, I will say this.
I mean, it definitely is. I mean, money-wise, it's probably the biggest moneymaker ever.
Oh, no, this is Marvel's #1 film now. And it used to be Iron Man. This is what I will say. Robert Downey Jr. basically started the Marvel Universe with Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And what I love about that, it was that director. Oh god, now I'm like drawing.
I could see him, but I can't.
Yeah. He plays
Happy
or something like that, or Smiley or Sunny in the actual
or Sleepy or Dopey
or thing. But basically, John Favreau,
right? Favreau.
John Favreau, basically,
because he's like French.
Well, it wasn't even that, but he just came out. He's like, "I want Robert Downey Jr." and everyone was like, "No,
he's bad."
And they got him, and everyone's like, "Okay." And he basically kicked off this.
You got one right.
Well, this is what happened. So they did the Avengers. They did all the stuff they've been building towards this, and then when they said when Disney bought the properties, one of the movies that came out was Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, a lot of people don't know what Guardians of the Galaxy is.
I still don't.
And this is a good thing because it's like a lot of people didn't know about it. I was like, "That's such a smart idea." This is going to be, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a terrible idea" and stuff. And when the first trailer came out, I go, "This is going to be the movie that you have the most fun this year in the summer, like just watching it." Now, what I like about this movie, you and Mom have no idea what Guardians of the Galaxy is.
No, none whatsoever.
No concept, and this is great. If you have no idea what it is, you've never seen a comic book, you've never even seen any Marvel movie, and you dive into this, you're going to enjoy it. That's how well they did this movie.
I just know it's about a varmint, a tree, a moldy woman, and a guy in leather.
But it's a great film, start to finish. It's a 2-hour movie. Does not feel like a 2-hour movie. They have so many. It's just a fast-paced movie, but like it's not when dialogue. They're waiting for their
cues
or anything like that. Like it looks like these characters are actually having a conversation. But before the movie even came out, they're like, we're doing a sequel. They're getting a cartoon show. There's all this merchandise. Now, granted, I have
their underwear, by the way.
Now, granted, there has been a problem where people were saying that it's not geared toward, like, women were complaining, going like, you have these two strong female characters in it, and you don't do much with them, and there's like no toys or merchandise for it and stuff like that. And I said it on Long Box Cast. I go, I hate to bring it to you, ladies, but this movie was not made for women. This is a guy flick. Don't get me wrong. Women are into comic books and everything like that. But if this kind of huge comic book phase did this 10 years ago, maybe 2% of the women would be seeing these movies.
Right.
Now, since it's the cool thing to do, you know, nerds are in now and all this kind of stuff. That's why you're having this huge drawback. Now, granted, like, if they do a Black Widow movie, your women are going to go see that, and then you're going to complain about that too, because you're going to be like, "Oh, this was geared towards men." Why do you think it was geared towards men?
Black Widow.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's a great film. Definitely check it out. this was like one of the movies that as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm buying this because I want to see all the deleted scenes that they've been talking about now. And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
so like Stan Lee.
I guess it was one with Stan Lee that was deleted from it, where he's in a thing.
Well, Stan Lee they were doing a cameo with that, which I was like, oh, that would have been good. But it's funny because people came out about his cameo going like, oh, he shouldn't do that because he's an icon and everything. That basically was supposed to be he was in the collector's chamber, and then Groot comes over and looks at him, and then Stan Lee gives him the finger, and I'm like, that would have been hilarious. But then they're all like, all these people, like Disney's coming out going like, well, he's an icon and everything like that, and then James Gunn, who directed it, he came out and said it the best way. He's like, yeah, I really wanted to do that cameo, but then I also realized like we just did that joke with Chris Pratt's character where he's in like the thing and he flicks off the guy.
Right.
He's like, so why would I repeat myself? I'm like, that was a much better way to handle it than trying to be like, Stan Lee's an icon. Stan Lee's like, oh, kids would relate. They'll be like, half the kids probably don't even know they just know him. He's in all the movies.
Right. They just said, oh, that old guy's in the movie
old guy's
again.
in the movie. So, of course, I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well.
Yeah, starring Transformers reject Megan Fox, Will Arnett, Tony Shalhoub as the voice of Splinter, Johnny Knoxville as the voice of Leonardo, and scores of others too numerous to list.
Yes, what I have to say is weird is everybody who did motion capture for the Turtles voiced the Turtles except for the guy who did it for Leonardo. They got Johnny Knoxville.
Huh.
And I'm just like, how bad was your performance that you couldn't just keep his voice?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, when you listen to it, you don't really even hear Johnny Knoxville. It actually just sounds like Leonardo. So it was like cool. Tony Shalhoub's Splinter is good, but also kind of like goes
like
back
Monk.
and forth. Like it kind of goes back and forth. Like he'll be like, oh, the Turtles, but then he starts sounding like the guy from Wings.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know. Yeah,
Antonio.
It's like, okay, Megan Fox is Megan Fox. So the problem I have is Will Arnett I think he's hilarious. I love Will Arnett. I think he does a great job in things. But this movie did not give him really anything to work with. They just kind of like, here's this. It was almost he had to throw away character because as soon as Michelangelo shows up, Michelangelo takes all the humor. Like he's the funny guy. So all in all,
now, who did Will Arnett play?
He was supposed to play Vern, which is a guy who's actually in the original 1984 cartoon show.
Oh, is that like the Casey Jones character?
No, he was the April's cameraman.
Oh, okay.
In the cartoon show. So they actually brought some of that kind of stuff. Special effects are really cool. Fight sequences, everything that is really cool. You can actually get past the turtles, like how they looked when they first came out. Like everyone's like, oh. They do a lot of humor back and forth. They do. It's good at that.
Do they eat any pizza?
Yes, they do. But while in New York, I'm still trying to figure out. I know it's merchandising, but again, Pizza Hut, really?
You're in New York City and you're eating a Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Splinter, actually, him being CGI now and not that weird puppet that's like moved by several people. You get to actually see him fight, which was actually kind of cool. And he actually, you're like, oh shit, like Splinter was bringing it. The whole Transformer Shredder thing, you could have done without. I felt that was really kind of bulky, all this kind of weird stuff. But if you're going in for story, don't.
Yeah, going in just for the pure visual.
Yeah, it has way too many plot holes. Take it for what it is, because the original Ninja Turtles comic is satire anyways, is making fun of everything and stuff like that. So I would say wait for Netflix. I would say wait for the library. If you do desperately want to see it in movie, I would say wait for the matinee. Don't pay full price for this. All in all, it's going to be shaky reboot for the franchise. They already planned on a second movie.
Yeah.
So we'll see where they go.
Yeah, it's one I may or may not end up seeing. I mean, the other ones, I remember taking you kids to in the movies and stuff, and the second one was just awful with the stupid farting animal monsters.
Oh, yeah, which sucks because there's so much controversy about that movie. Originally, it was supposed to have Rocksteady and Bebop, but for some strange reason, since Rocksteady and Bebop were created primarily for the cartoon show and merchandising purposes, when New Line Cinema only had the rights to the actual comic book. So they were trying to get them in there, and then they're like, no, you can't have them, or the substance like this, and all this kind of crap. They were like, fine, we'll just create new whatever mutants. So that's why it was just terrible. So it's so weird. Like after now, when you go back and check out all these like things that you find out, like, oh, okay, well that's interesting. Like how this stuff. But when you're a little kid, you're like, what the fuck?
So there you have it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that by now you are scratching your head or some other disgusting part of your body, and wondering why on earth did we even bother coming off hiatus. You haven't heard from us since May, and that was fine with you and probably the rest of the internet as well. To that, I can only say that haters are going to hate, and idiots are going to do everything else, so deal with it. To be honest, the world didn't seem as fucked up as it did before we went on hiatus, and while I will never claim that had anything to do with our show, I think the coincidence is rather unique. Perhaps the police in Ferguson, Missouri have missed our show so much that their unquenched angst and frustration were taken out on the poor, unsuspecting citizens of that fair town. I had never even heard of ISIS until months after our last show, so maybe those poor radicalized bastards were just waiting for us to come back again so they could just chill out and laugh at our jokes. Who knows? Maybe the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, has been so pissed off that he has not heard a New Idiot Section show that he continues to take out his pain and aggression on the people that he is supposed to protect.
They're taking my idiot section.
For all we know, the Idiot Section could have prevented the Ebola virus that is sweeping Africa, had it continued to air. I don't know how, but since we haven't been on, who knows what could have happened. Hey world, for what it's worth, the Idiot Section is back, and we want you all to realize the idiots that you are, and that it's time to chill out and laugh at your own stupidity. Maybe in some small way us idiots can work together to calm things down and bring order and peace back into the world. It is worth a try. And now, as my doctor would ask, we appreciate your coming in today, and thank you for listening to us. We know you have many choices when you listen to podcasts, and are thrilled that you have chosen ours. On behalf of me and my co-host, we thank you for listening to the Idiot Section today. If you purchase merchandise through Amazon.com, please continue to do so by clicking on the link to Amazon from the Socially Awkward Studios website. Although I have never been provided any written or notarized information from said network, I have been told, secondhand mind you, that the fine internet retailer Amazon gives the studio a percentage of everything you buy through them. This percentage adds nothing to the cost of the product to you, but does provide funding to our network. Either way, thank you for your support. If you would like to send us a tweet on Twitter, look for the @TheIdiot Section and tweet away. Also, please like us on Facebook @The Idiot Section. If you are not sure if you like us or not, like us anyway. If you do, you can tell your grandchildren that you liked us before it was cool to. Remember, one day you might not only like us, but love us. Please visit our website @TheIdiotSection.com to check out this and previous shows, as well as silly items we have posted so we don't have to do real work. We'll update the site periodically, so check it out often. Tune in next time when we attempt to waste another hour of your time with stupid ideas we have, dumb stories we have found, and rubbish that we type into our computers when the inebriation wears off. Thanks again for listening, and talk to you in 2 weeks.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com.